You noble diggers, all stand up now.
The duty of the revolutionary is to fight those forces and personalities which impede or obstruct the socialist revolution.
That's what I said.
No, it isn't what you said, and you must see the difference.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to my channel. Today, we are talking about Richie Torres for the third day. My response to the Good Faith Challenge was insufficient, or deemed insufficient, I should say. I think it was sufficient, and that all the answers to his questions were implicit in the video that he had. But I perhaps was engaged in not enough good faith here. I'm going to even strip it down more into the barest essentials, right? And I'm going to blow a lot of the stuff that I have in my head still, the way that I view the world, but essentially I'm calling you an idealist, right? That you have to commit to this revolution thing.
You teach me and I'll teach you.
And that means materialism, right? And not just materialism in the stuff of the world, right? But that the very thoughts that your opponents have, right? Those are determined by the weave of fate, right? That they are overdetermined, that they had no part to play in any thought that comes to them. And I want to win, right? I want to win. BadEmpanada cannot win, right? BadEmpanada did teach me something, though. I'm going to start with a positive. BadEmpanada taught me dispositional correctness. BadEmpanada can't teach me anything knowledge-wise, right? While he was being a Twitter warrior, I was studying intensely for a decade, right? Anyone who ended up on the internet from the millennial generation successfully committed to it instead of what the cursus honorum demands of you, which is intense study throughout your 20s, right? Not saying that I am bitter or anything about that. I chose. I thought I didn't want to dishonor myself by being some kind of commentary person. That's a lowly gig. It's like an actor or something like that. And yeah, but eventually what happened was that Trump was reelected, and things got very scary there for a moment. I'm a very, very close follower of the news, and I, like Cassandra, could see the end coming, right? The rhetoric that Trump was spewing, the plan of 2025, right? These were leading to Nazi aspirations, fascist aspirations. In my own life, up until this channel, and up until Trump's election, I should say, I had seen it as my duty on social media to inform my community, right? Which would mean my small hometown people I have connections with, and then connections that I have throughout the academic world, right? And so I would post extremely hard left memes, communist, Trotskyite left memes, and it shocked a lot of people in my life, right? But that was what I saw as my duty. And then Trump was elected, and I couldn't even perform that duty, right? That I was so scared of what I saw, and that I knew what was coming, that there was a month or maybe even 2 months there, say December through his early election days, January 20th through early February, that I was too scared to post, right? That I thought, these people are going to do it. They're going to go for it, right? And then I saw them in action, and they are just completely inept, completely incompetent to the moment that they had set up for themselves, right? And so I knew that a new world was in front of us, right? That the Democrats and the Republicans had both thrown away the UN documents, the Geneva Conventions, the rules of war. Those are all gone because of the Palestine genocide, right? They don't mean anything anymore. And I want them back. I want them back badly. And so I've decided to start doing this channel, right? To start posting. And even though I'm the max left, right?
Max left. Oh my god. Are you actually? Is this one of the hats for real? I love that.
Yeah, there
Max
you go.
left. He's gonna piss some people off, I think.
I think it might.
It doesn't matter, right? You still have to play the game by the rules. Here's a good analogy. An 1800 ELO player, a chess player with a pretty good rating, can be beaten by a chess player with an okay rating if he's not paying attention, if he tries to do too much, right? If he plays outside of his set.
The duty of the revolutionary is to fight those forces and personalities which impede or obstruct the socialist revolution.
That's what I said.
No, it isn't what you said, and you must see the difference.
Those are ways that you get beaten by the mediocre, right? And being a Puritan, being a max left, being an idealist like BadEmpanada does, makes you no friends. And so I'm going back to this clip that I started the episode with between Trotsky and Lenin, right? The enemy of the revolution is the one who is the obstacle to it, right? And though I believe in a world community, a leftist ideal, right, with universal values and the ability to rationally speak across the globe to anyone and commune, right, to have argument, right, like I am with this Argentinian BadEmpanada through you. But those are not the only rules that operate in the world, right? You know that the conservatives operate on weird rules and you engage them as different, right? But the liberals also operate on different rules, right? The Americans do not think of other people as human, right? It is most obvious to me because I'm a member of the Commonwealth, right? The member of His Majesty's Commonwealth, Charles III. And if you, as a member, as an Australian, as a Canadian, or a Brit, put your input on American politics, the immediate reaction is nativism, is patriotism, is anger and dismissal of that viewpoint, right? And so these liberals are open, right? They're open to being addressed, right? But they have to be addressed with respect, right? Like you've entered their tent, right? Even though in the grand scheme and you see the world correctly, they're in your tent, right? You're the great Khan. They're for you and your position. But they don't know that. And you need their troops. You need their soldiers. You need their commitment to the cause.
The Latins. Yes, I remember.
And I don't think that, bashing what your position is on Palestine is the best way to help the Palestinians, actually. Right? My position is, of course, that all of Palestine will be returned to the Palestinians, right? And that Jerusalem itself will be governed by the UN, and that Israel has no right to exist, and that it will be destroyed. That is the position of this channel. But pushing it all the time and saying that you have to do it, right? It's not effective. And also to push it on people who are Jewish, right? Who have this PTSD in their familial memory. They knew people who either survived, right? Or they knew people who died, right? Who were exterminated in the Holocaust. And, that may be running out of juice because of the crimes that the Palestinians are suffering under. But there's a story from Confucius that it reminds me of, right? From the Analects, 13.18. The Lord of Shi instructed Confucius, saying, "There is an upright man in my district. His father stole a sheep, and he testified against him." Confucius said, "The upright men in my district act different. Fathers cover up for their sons, and sons cover up for their fathers. Uprightness lies therein. And I'm getting back to this bit about people are material still, right? I engage with you idealistically, right? But we're basically burning ourselves to the bone trying to do it, right? And the autism wears on us. And most people can't, right? The allistics, the neurotypicals, they can't do it. They can't keep themselves at abeyance, right? And so what you have to do is be better, right? Play harder, play stronger. And the way to do that is to play with another set of rules in mind, right? To just swap the rules out, that when you come against liberals, you have to teach them with kid gloves, right? You have to baby hand them because they are, one, irrational, and two, egoic, right? Subject to easily, right? Mistaking an attack on a point for an attack on them, right? That the point is implicit to their character, essential to their character, right? And that the point deserves some kind of respect. I'm going to leave with this last little extended bit, right? And it's about the Vanguard boys.
Why Hassan is pissed off and, as you guys are about to see, clap back at BadEmpanada. What was your take on this, though?
Yeah, so we talked about this. I'm not super familiar with BadEmpanada. He's not the kind of content creator that I watch when I'm not doing our job, but we did review his reaction to that debate that Hassan had with one of Bernie Sanders' former foreign policy advisors. And I thought that he had a lot of decent points to make. He had some authentic, genuine pushback for Hassan, and he talked about the framing that he would have liked to seen differently. And I think that that's totally well within your right as a, a critic on YouTube or a guy that wants to share his thoughts. Obviously, that guy's not going to come on BadEmpanada's show. So I thought we were really, really fair to BadEmpanada when we were breaking that down, gave him some credit. But the one thing I said was that I just really feel like the guy has some Jimmy Dore energy. And I think this is just doubling and tripling down. Like my spidey senses for the Jimmy Dore.
These boys are meta commentators, right? They comment on BreadTube fights. And they have the audacity, right? The indignity to call themselves the Vanguard, right? They're liberals. They're not leftists. They don't, and more importantly, they're illiterates, right? And so, what do I do with these people? Do I just start being like illiterate leftist vanguard traitor liberals? That's not useful, right? That's not helpful. And in fact,
the duty of the revolutionary is to fight those forces and personalities which impede or obstruct the socialist revolution.
That's what I said.
No, it isn't what you said, and you must see the difference.
And in fact, it is an obstacle to the revolution, right? So that makes me the enemy to the revolution if I insist on this leftist globalist thought pattern when these Romans are hallucinating, right? And they are Romans, right? The revolution failed, right? Marx, Lenin, Trotsky, I think they jinxed it. I think that the materialism is more than they let on or believed, that everything is determined, right? That the great weave of fate is intricate and complete. And therefore, by speaking into existence what was to come, they gave the Anglo-American Empire the ability to overcome it. The Washington Naval Treaties, right? That is the beginning of an Anglo-American Empire. And this unholy alliance, right? This machination of crown and republic, right? This merging of Locke and Hobbes has been what the late Roman Republic was, right? The Americans are like the Roman Latin core, and then Britain, Canada, and Australia are like the Italian allies, right? In order to break this ideology thing, you must be smooth. You must commit to it, right? I get that BadEmpanada is right. He's right about a lot of things, right? But I want his positions to happen, right? I don't want to just be right about them, right? Philosophy is not about being right about history. It's about changing it. Have a nice day. Hello, you've made it to the end of the video. Thank you. This channel has one mission: to prevent civilizational collapse associated with climate change, to prevent 100 million refugees by 2035, to stop 7 billion from starving to death by 2075. And we will do this through one main vehicle. We mean to unite the Anglosphere. We will do this by convincing the Commonwealth of His Majesty King Charles III to apply for statehood as one. And then with this new power, we will be able to negotiate in good faith with the rest of the world on how to tackle this crisis. Thank you and enjoy.